are you friends with a comedian? What's her name? Brittany Schmitt?
Brittany Schmitt. Yeah. I love Brittany. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Why?
She's the worst. Okay.
Wow. You're going public with hate.
Shenanigans. I call shenanigans on something.
Okay.
So she dated this friend of mine named Armie Hammer. They had like this very ultra casual thing happening. Okay. And he always,
by the way, I remember Armie was making barbecue at your party. And then I remember then the whole thing happened during the pandemic. And I was like, his barbecue was really good. I was like, well, if he is a cannibal, if he is a cannibal, I was like, he made killer barbecue.
He did. He made barbecue ribs.
Yeah, he barbecued ribs. Dude, I'll never forget it. Because I was like, when that whole thing went down, I was like, that was really good barbecue.
It went down like 2 days later, I swear.
It was pretty soon there. I can't even remember when it went down, but yeah, that whole thing was bananas.
Yes.
But okay, so they had a casual relationship.
All right, so he's come through a whole thing. I have seen. I've been given a perspective where I am well aware that plenty of these stories about him are complete bullshit.
Yeah.
And I'll just give you one, and this is why I'm extra revved up about it. One of them, there's this one woman who you've been to my brother's hotel in the desert.
Yeah.
So Armie posts a photo from a room there and then left. And this girl drove out, met my brother, tried to seduce my brother and didn't explain that she knew Armie or anything. And then so that he would let her into
that room,
this one room where then she did a photo shoot and is like, Armie and I are here together. And posted his thing and posted this. Okay, so I'm aware, and then was like, and he mistreated me and all this stuff. So it's a completely fabricated.
Wow.
There's so much of that stuff too.
And
well, I'm really upset that she used your brother like that.
He's such a sweet guy.
Sweetest guy.
He's great.
The sweetest. Love him.
Ashton, good old Ashton. Okay, so my beef with this girl Brittany is that she has a podcast and it's with Tommy Lee's wife,
Brittany Furlan.
Yeah. She seems great.
I love her.
Okay, but Brittany Schmitt,
yeah.
Brittany Schmitt, she used it's basically she went out with Armie a few times. They hooked up with maybe only once.
Yeah.
And then on her podcast was because he didn't call her back and made up an excuse why he couldn't meet up with her. She was all the stuff that was said about him is correct. And what a bad guy.
Yeah.
And then also use all this, weaponize all this stuff about the fact that he was in recovery and she's in recovery. And she was like, I don't care about an anonymity. He is not following his recovery in this way, and this way. And just I think that there are shenanigans.
Yeah.
If you people just sometimes people just don't like you enough to continue a relationship.
Yeah.
And Brittany should just be it turns out this is one of those situations.
Yeah.
I stalked someone who's famous and I knew was famous for at the time, kind of what's the word if they're
notoriety.
Notoriety. Yeah, notorious. And then it didn't go my way. And so I'm gonna act all wounded about it.
Yeah.
Grow up. But
here's the thing.
What
if she really was wounded? What if her feelings really were hurt and that's how she acted out? That doesn't make it right. But what if she really developed deep feelings for this person very quickly? She had one intimate encounter with him and all of a sudden, then that just made her crazy. I'm not saying what she did is right.
Yeah.
But I like to look at people get really hurt by even a short-term romance, limerence, that's what it's called. Limerence. It's you have this obsession and love for someone that is irrational.
Limericks, there once was a man from France. Different kind of thing. Sorry.
Limerence. That's a limerick.
What you're describing is one thing, and that's different than being so needy.
Yeah.
If everything isn't perfect.
Yeah.
You're wounded.
Yeah. I mean, addicts. These addicts loving addicts. I mean, it's just. Maybe
I should be more understanding about another addict.
Yeah.
I'm that's just an addict. She's just an addict being dumb.
Everybody has the right to fuck up, but Armie's life was ruined and he still struggles to pay his kids' tuition.
Okay, but
tell
here's
this whole
Here's the
story.
thing. I'm not excusing anyone's behavior on either side.
You've made it very clear that you also think Britney sucks.
No, I actually really like Britney. I think she's a wonderful person. I've had nothing but amazing encounters with her. But I do.
I'm just going to cut around this.
I
so
do
say yes.
I do like to give, having been surrounded by addicts, having been good friends with addicts,
Sure.
having dated addicts, I do realize there is a degree of dysfunction that you're starting at, that you can't ask that person. I mean, that's not necessarily, and who knows where she was in her own dysfunction of addiction. You know, maybe she was, because she's relapsed over the years. So like, who knows if that was close to a relapse? I don't know. I just try to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. Like, I don't think anyone, you know how they,
I liked her. I still think she's funny.
She's very funny. There's the expression, everyone's, you know, they're just doing their best. They're doing their best. No one's trying to get it wrong.
Yeah.
No one's out there doing their worst. Everyone is doing in that moment what they think is their best. They're doing whatever it is in that moment as a form of self-preservation. So she is in some way trying to make herself feel better and make herself have a moment of, you know, having a pain-free moment for something that was maybe painful to her.
Yeah, but I think it was just, it felt, okay, valid.
You're saying it felt calculated.
It just felt calculated. And you're like, you're kicking someone when there's like, he was still down at the time.
Yeah.
And his career is coming back, and he's had a lot of victories since then.
Yeah.
But I suppose I took it extra personal because I know what an injustice a lot of the accusations are, especially the worst ones are all like the idea that he was actually eating people is so ludicrous. And the idea that he ever actually abused anyone, like physically abused, it's like he was just accused of by mentally unstable people.
Yeah.